Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I'm so happy to have you. If some of my pre-existing subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we are going to be discussing the diseases, pandemic, the possibility of having one, and everything pertaining to that realm. I want to kind of deviate a little bit away from politics, at least specifically for this video, to act as a buffer zone before I do the next political video. So this video is just kind of going to go in with a blind reading. I don't really know much about what's going on in terms of the health-wise. I kind of see it out of the news since November 6, 2024. I have not really been in the news since. I kind of have read merely the the titles of certain newspapers and outlets, but that's roughly about it. I don't try to really engage with the media or legacy media or even podcasts or whatever it is. I try to just do my own thing and ignore them because we all know that they cannot be trusted and I do not trust them. So there's that. Anyway, this video is being recorded on none other than Monday, January 27th at 1:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I am recording this video. I will be uploading more videos as well with me at the table. Try and pump as many as I can out so that you guys can be able to receive good content. But also, I will be working in the morning for majority of this week, which means that I won't be able to make as many videos in the morning at the table, so I'm going to try to do as much as I can in the meantime. So let's begin. We have a lot to get through, and I do hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, engage with the content. The longer you watch this video, you tell the algorithm, hey, I like this, I like the content, let's show me more. Plus, you can comment, you can like, you can subscribe, and all of that is also considered engagement and some formality. Now, if you want to be notified when I do post and upload next, no worries. You can go into the comment section below or the description, and you can follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group. Alright, so let's begin. We have a lot to get through today. So I have a book. A lot of you guys are new, so you guys are not familiarized with this, but this is my book. And for FYI here, for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. But this is not a predictive channel. I do want to say that now. I do predict certain things or something when I'm 100% certain of something. But I read energy and I tell you what the likeliest outcome with the current choices currently where the likely pathway will be. That can change. Choices along the way can be altered or could change the trajectory of the ending. However, certain things are more set in stone, like Biden in 2020, or like like Trump was definitely going to lose in 2020. So things like that was really set in stone. That was something that was not going to change regardless of free will. The 2024 election had free will. That was the only election in American history that had free will. Every other one was already pre-chosen. I have noticed, according to my own internal intuition, that a lot of them have already been pre-chosen. They were chosen for the specific time in which they were to lead us towards today, which is, under 45 presidency. Alright, so the reason why we're going through this book is because it has some psychic hits. And the way I do this, I sit down at the table and I listen to some meditation music and I just write down with permanent ink and I manually write it with ink. Yeah, I use a glass pen with ink and I write it down. I just kind of channel and everything I hear, because I'm clairaudient, I just hear things and I just write as I go. I don't really think about it until after when I read it, the full content. So here we said, okay, I think it's this one here actually. This will be part of my 2025 prediction video. If you have not gone and watched it, I will put the link to the New Year's predictions. That would be in the link below. It says here on December 31st, 2024, channel messages at 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I recorded this. So let me read it to you. Here, the world you seek will be met with diversity and adversity. Love all that will be, can be, and should be. The world will transform in matters of Ike or ick. Thy truth shall be open. Happy New Year. May you rest solely. The world will transform. Please be prepared, as you yourself will change. So that is the message, opening message. Then it goes into the first prediction, which was said, happiness will plague the world. while others will live in desolate of such plague. The next one, it says here, world's leaders will be submission, be submissive to all that can and will be. This means they will be submissive to the divine order of things, including 45. He is to be following the agreement that they have, and if he doesn't, well, then that's a problem. It says here, help will be sought by those who want it, an open vast to wisdom and faith. A new faith will emerge and reignite a passion in others. Okay, so that is December 31st, 2024. That is when I channeled that. That is why I'm doing it, because it feels to me as if, what to call it, that is very relative to the content of today's video. We do have another video that I am going to make, and I'm realizing now that this does not mention anything specifically about anything in terms of like health-wise. It talks more about emergency. It talks more about like what's going on in California. This is called the Shooting Star Prophecy, which I have not yet revealed to you guys. If you want to screenshot that and read on your own time, you can. There's a lot more to the content there, but I'm not ready to reveal the information as you guys are not ready to hear it. So there is that. Alright, so let's begin. I'm not going to waste your time. Yeah, I'm not going to waste your time, so let's begin. We're going to do the tarot card portion of today's video now, and we'll see what happens. I'm going into this completely blind. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. I know that there's the bird flu. We covered the bird flu. We covered the polio. We covered COVID, as you all know. We covered me talking about how there's going to be another pandemic in our lifetime. We're going to act that today. You know, we're going to cover a whole bunch of topics and kind of see what comes out. That's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read on health in the United States and globally, and then see what comes out from there. We'll go from there. But I will put all the videos that I did in terms of health will be in the description below, with the exception of COVID. The COVID is just your abnormal one. You guys can just scroll into my video section or my live, and you will see past videos there in regards to COVID and all the other videos. But I will just link the important ones in the description and the comment section. Alright, so let's begin. I'm not going to waste your time. Like I said, we are just going to get head on in, because there's a lot of things to cover for the next couple of weeks. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me about what is going on in the United States in terms of health-wise. Is the United States going to experience another pandemic or an epidemic or some sort of disease outbreak? And if so, and here's why I want to mention it. I feel like it's important that I mention it. The tarot card might say no, but it could still indicate that there is a disease. And here's what my interpretation would be if that was the case. And I will let you know if the cards agree or disagree with that. My opinions are always separated from the card. But if this is the case, it's theoretically possible that an illness could come about, but we might not be told about it. And it might not be announced. So it might say, no, we're not going to have a pandemic. But the disease is still rampant. Do you know what I mean? So it could be a little murky. It's based on the wording. So I'm going to try my best to try to understand the context of what it is telling me. And I'm hoping that the energy and the frequencies of the cards can pick up the fact that that's disparity, that it might not be announced as a pandemic. It might just be announced as just, it might not be announced at all. I just want to put that as a disclaimer. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me about the pandemic. Will the United States have another pandemic in the United States within the end of the decade? And we're using that as a reference here. I'm hearing a release. There's a release here. You have the devil. You have the fool card. Yeah. Yep. Yes, we are. Yep. I'm going to say yes. It looks rather certain, actually. It's just certain. We have here the challenge by the Ten of Cups is a yes card in the tarot deck. What's the bottom of the deck here? We have struggle. And then the top of the deck here, we have the Queen of Pentacles. which is all about a nurturing, caring, loving, while the dude's struggling. Alright, so let's see. Let's take a look. Let's read this and I'll try my best to interpret it in a way in which we can understand what the tarot cards are saying. Now, the tarot cards, a lot of you guys have been saying, oh, they're not always accurate because, what happened. I'm like, no, the cards are always accurate. Sometimes the energies are not meant to be read properly because they're not meant to reveal those energies. Maybe you're not meant to see those energies. It's also very possible as well that, um, the interpreter could be wrong as well. Right? Doesn't mean the cards are wrong. The cards are never wrong. It's always the interpreter. The cards are always right. Okay, so with that mindset going in, we have the Queen of Wands reversed. And the Queen of Wands reversed is interesting because the first thing I got was release. Release, release, release. This is supposed to be a woman, right? The nurturing woman. The one who comes in and cares and does the right thing. The thing is that under 45 presidency, back in 2020, we saw neglect. We saw the lack and ability to govern properly. Now, what we're getting is like a sequel. So you ever watch those TV shows that have like a cliffhanger? And the cliffhanger for 45 was COVID and how he would have handled the thing or how it would have ended had he been reelected. Well, essentially, if there was something to occur within the next 5 years, give or take, it will probably happen under the 45 presidency, and under that presidency, it will be like a continuation, almost like a reboot series. So the series has been rebooted with a different disease, but kind of picking up the story to tell you how he would have handled COVID had he been reelected back in 2020. So that's just really interesting is what that card is coming in. The next card is we have holding back. Holding back or holding on to something. It's the Four of Pentacles reversed. It feels like to me I'm seeing like airborne. I'm seeing like release. Like something is being released. But this thing is something that comes spit out. So like it's almost like if you're in close proximity to somebody, they come right out. They come down. And it hits them in the eye or yeah. So I'm gonna say it's fluid based and it's also airborne. It's both. It feels like if someone accidentally talks to you and you're too close and a little bit of spit goes in your eye and they have it, you're gonna get it. Kind of like that. It kind of felt like that type of energy. Underneath the devil card here, the next card is followed by the devil, which means chained, right? Chained down. Which is interesting because we have the two cards here with the Queen of Wands reversed and we have the Four of Pentacles, which indicates a release of something. Here we have two. Right? And here's 45. This is the card that represents 45. I wonder if we're going to have two. Now, I'm not sure if it means two separate individual pandemic. It might be two epidemics. It might even be two diseases that are rampant and ongoing at the same time. It's going on in the same time. Like maybe during 45's first term, it was one disease. Now we might have two diseases going at the same time. The next card is we have the Four. How do I know that this feels like this is where we're heading? We have the Fool card. We have somebody walking right into the trap. Someone walking right into it. How do we see this? Well, let's take a look. Let me show you. Alright. So this is the way it looked in my spread here. This guy is walking right into this. These are the two diseases. The two pandemics or epidemics, however you want to read that. But this guy is walking right into it. Which means that we're heading straight on in. So this means that this was not something that was meant to happen naturally. This was something that was caused via human intervention. So potentially this is about the withdrawal of who, or the withdrawal of who, Noah and all those type of things. This is what's going to be the long-term effect of it. Because we withdrew from those things, God forbid there was a disease, we wouldn't even know about it. We wouldn't even be told. And imagine the severe censorship around it. Anything that will detriment 45's ability to govern, he will censor it. Which means that we won't really know. We'll just see people getting hurt and injured, but we won't really know exactly what it is, and there won't be any effort to combat it. So that's the devil card here. The devil card is indicating that we're walking blindly in, because this person's looking straight up. They're not even looking at the devil. They're not looking at this, what we're walking into. Here we have, it's instead looking at this. We're asking whether or not it's likely to happen, right? If it's almost 100% certain. And it looks like this person's looking at this. So it almost feels like in some way it's determined by human intervention, but it all hangs on whether you're going to choose to be blind to the issue or whether or not you're going to hit the, whether or not you are going to prevent the issue. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Apparently, I am stuttering like severely. I think it's because my throat is dry, so I have water here. So I'm gonna try and do an effort of just drinking water. Because I have an air vent here and it's blowing hot air right into my throat and it's drying it up. So I do apologize in advance. But going back to what I've been saying, because I am allergic to dust, so that does not help either. That could be the closing of the throat. Here we have is the Hermit card. The Hermit card is interesting because it means darkness with a light, a reveal. I kept talking about how like it almost feels like something gets released. It's like something gets released in the darkness, and they're both facing the direction. It's facing the same direction here. Right? This person walked blindly into this. This person is holding the lantern, and they're also walking into this, which means that yeah, I guess there is darkness in this area here. This person doesn't even know. I guess maybe this individual, whoever this represents the Fool card is walking into the devil, which means they are unaware of the situation. And this person is going to shine a light on the issue, but we have to be in the darkness first in order to see the light. So it almost feels like to me that in order for something to come about or say, hey, we're in a pandemic, we're not going to know it until we start seeing mass deaths. Again, guys, don't be scared. Don't be afraid. This is a great time to be prepared. And this is what's really great about tarot and all those things. It's all energy frequency, right? Just be prepared. There's no reason to be in a state of fear. Remember, we talked about Pluto's return and the United States collapsing, and just to sit back and just watch and enjoy, it evolve. The United States does need to go through that. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I mean, it would have been better under a House administration, and that's my opinion. But according to what I always saw in the cards, even from the past when I first started, that the United States would do much better under a 45 presidency. And hear me out, don't make it for a judgment. It would do better because every system will have collapsed. Because every system would have collapsed, it can be built back better. And I always thought, the United States, right now we have a republic. We don't have a democracy. So yes, all of us have been saying for a very long time, I myself guilty, of saying that, the United States democracy has died. But let me tell you something. The United States does not even have a democracy to begin with. We have a constitutional republic, which means democracy has not even died because it never existed. Instead, it can be born. And continuously throughout all my readings, even from the past up until present day, I have seen consistent movement toward a democratic institution of the United States. Now, the United States could take a detour and just end up full authoritarians, full fascists for decades. But that seems like an unlikely scenario under a 45 presidency. 45 will usher it in, don't get me wrong, but it would be more of a short-lived type scenario rather than a long-lived one. And instead, we enter into a period of a democratic institution. I've even said that we might even experience the ending of the first president and the beginning of a prime minister. We might have a combination, but we're definitely going to have a parliament. So I definitely see Congress being overhauled. But going back to the main purpose of what I'm saying here is that major changes are afoot, and in order to really create the drastic changes that you need to change, especially the issues of the United States that caused these issues in the first place, everything needs to collapse to the ground. There needs to be nothing standing. This is no different, right? This is no different. It has to collapse completely. Right? He withdrew from it. Now we're about to experience the blunt of it. And that's going to be the learning lesson for people who are saying, let's get rid of Wu, we don't need it. That's going to be a learning lesson. That's going to be because it's a collapse of the department and how it indicates its necessity to the government and to the people. In order to realize its importance for those people who are blinded to see it, can't apparently even feel, they need to be able to feel it indefinitely. They need to feel the pain because nobody's coming to help them. The department's gone. No one's coming to help them, and they need to learn the hard truth. You know the truth. So you have the edge here. You have the advantage. You are already in that prepared stage. You're not in that stage of denial that no one's coming. You're going to be prepared when the time comes. And that's a good thing to have. You always want to be prepared. You always want to be well equipped, well informed. Because I always said this on my video, even from the past. I'd rather be wrong than be right on certain things. This is one of those things that I would rather be wrong. I'd rather be wrong about this. I don't care if it hurts my reputation, because I'm not here about my reputation. I'm here to help you guys. And I would rather be wrong about what I'm getting than be right and say I'm happy that it happened because it made me right. I don't care about that. I care about making sure you guys are able to be prepared and able to be equipped. I'm not here to gloat my my successes. I'm not. That's not what this channel is about. The channel is about reading the energy and what we see in front of us and be able to interpret them in a way in which you can understand the likely scenario. If just say this was to happen, what's the likely outcome? What's the likely path? Right? I explore all paths, all possibilities, and all opportunities. So I just want to make sure that's clear to all the new ones. The new guys are here, so thank you for joining the channel. I appreciate you and all the love and support you have shown me over the past couple of days. I have responded to a lot of your emails and your comments, so definitely go check it out if you have not already. And I want to say continuously thank you to all my original subscribers as well. Thank you for sitting by me and standing by me from all these many years. And thank you for those of you guys who have been with me from the very start and very beginning. I want to let you guys all know I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm severely grateful for all the love and effort that we have put into the channel. This is not my channel, this is our channel. Okay, going back to the reading now. We have the Magician. And the Magician is a very interesting card here because the Magician I'm not seeing a good magician. I'm seeing somebody who is holding the wheel or holding the fortune. And this feels like RFK or somebody who has the power to control. He's like, no. I have the opportunity. It almost feels like, in a way, it's like, oh, I can save you. We're going to create the problem and I'm going to save you. It almost feels like that. It feels like this problem was done on purpose in some capacity. And it's like, now you're going to see me as a hero, a savior. What I feel like he's doing is, and this is just my opinion only, but based on what I'm getting in the cards, it feels like to me what he is essentially doing, he's creating problems, then fixing those problems to make himself appear as if he is God, to make him feel as if people need to worship him because he is the best president of our time. But really, it's all an illusion. That's all that it is. It's an illusion. Don't buy into it. That's why they say don't obey. Don't obey. This is the Magician card. It's that illusion that's being cast. Now, underneath the Devil card here, we have the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups indicates loss. But it doesn't really necessarily mean loss. That means that we're asking whether or not there is a likelihood of a pandemic occurring within the next 5 years. We have 2 cups still upright. We have 3 cups upright, 2 cups down. This is interesting because that means it has a higher probability because there's 3 cups out of 2, which means a 25% chance of it occurring. Now, with that being said, it's underneath the Devil card here. We're followed by the Seven of Swords reversed, which means it's going in this direction as well, which means that all of this is going in this direction, going towards the past, but also towards the future, because these 2 cards are heading towards the future, which is on the right side here, but every other card here that's facing towards the left is going towards the past. Why is this significant? This is significant because the woman here is looking towards the past. Right? This is Harris looking towards the past. We have a man looking straight up. Then we have the Devil looking straight up. Then you have the Fool card going towards the past. The Hermit going towards the past. Then you have the Magician card looking straight up. Then you have the Five of Cups going towards the future. You have the Seven of Swords going towards the past. Why is this important? And why is this significant? Because when you start to look at it from a different perspective, just say you put this card here, this guy is looking at this guy. Right? I feel like the Fool card is a whistleblower, but it feels like somebody's going to blow something in regards to something possibly being planned or being leaked, or maybe possibly the illusion being disbanded or being exposed. It's also very possible as well that the Seven of Swords might mean that someone's going to die, someone major, and it's going to trigger a pandemic-like response. That could be that as well. Now, it's being challenged about the Devil card and the Fool card, which is the two cards of asking whether or not something is going to occur. We have the Ten of Cups as the challenge, means there's a possibility can occur, there's also an impossibility that's going to occur. That is interesting that it goes right above the Devil card and the Fool card, which tells me that this is still very much in play and it's all decided by the individual in the administration, which is 45 and his minion. So it feels like that's what this is talking about. It's talking about here is dependent solely on how the response is and what they plan to do with their role in government. That will determine whether or not we will experience something or we will not. That is what I'm getting. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting from that. I don't really get any other information in terms of that regard, besides obviously me getting information that there's going to be like airborne or droplets that could possibly affect you through the eyes or the eyelids if you're too close to somebody. But that's just like common sense. I mean, really, you don't need a psychic to know that. So, so now that we established how this plays out, I feel like it's an illusion. We are going to ask if it's going to occur under 45, or if it's going to be like again probably towards the end of his presidency. But I feel like it's like I said, I feel like more than anything, it feels like it's going to be what's it called? Almost like a reboot of 2020 to showcase how good of a leader he is and how he's able to fix all these problems that he created himself and that people worship him. It's an illusion. So, spirits and angels tell me about 45. Felon 45. Um, will this pandemic or epidemic or the two major outbreaks or diseases occur under 45 term as president? I'm going to put this back in because that was not, I didn't really shuffle. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to happen under him. Alright, so we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups is very interesting. It's a very interesting card for me. Because this is the card that indicates achievement, possibilities, but it also indicates ignorance, bliss, not looking at the obvious, saying, oh, I'm better than you. I can do this better than what you can think. I don't know why it's not. Um, yeah, okay, I guess we'll just do it this way. It's almost like it feels like to me, it's almost like ignorance. You say, I can do it better than anybody. Like, I'm the savior. It feels like this is like some sort of God complex, is what it feels like. It feels like a God complex. And here, the first card that comes out is the trouble card, which is the Six of Swords reversed. This is trouble, like trouble for the administration, trouble for 45. We're asking whether or not this is going to occur under 45 presidency. We have the Hierophant here. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't think anyone will be surprised if this happens, right? I mean, we all seen the news. And I'm stating the obvious here, And here is the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is my vaccine card from the past. So it feels like, in a way, he created a problem, like a trouble within the 45 administration, and then there's a cure. So almost like it's like a stunt. That's what it feels like. I said it's like it feels like a stunt. Like the pandemic is not real. Like it didn't occur naturally. This was a stunt. This was a plan. This like almost feels like it's premeditated. And here we have is the Knight of Swords reverse. And the Knight of Swords is running towards the future. Running towards the future, which means this is most likely to happen towards the future of his term. What's the bottom of the deck? Well, the top of the deck, excuse me, is the Ten of Swords reversed. Didn't happen naturally. Did not happen naturally. So I would say, yeah, it's definitely going to happen under 45 term as president. What I want to ask is, this premeditated? That's what all I want to know. Like one card for that. I don't really think we need multiple cards to know that. Is this premeditated by 45 in his administration? Okay, the first card, we have the 8 of Pentacles. I think that's pretty self-explanatory that it's premeditated. And here's the 6 of Wands here for victory. And then we have here struggle. Yeah, it's premeditated. This is definitely premeditated. Everything in this video is just for entertainment purposes only, and for entertainment purposes only. Everything I say in here is just for life purposes only, and nothing I say is actually true. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at this 10 of wands reversed, and we have here the page of stories. Yeah, it feels like an illusion. This is an illusion. Yeah, it's an illusion to get people divided over certain issues. I feel like this is like a divide and conquer type of situation. Like he creates the problem, comes the cure, and then he like divides the population by making himself appear as a god, like he's the healer. Like I think he really wants to be Jesus. I really do. And maybe I should actually read on whether or not he thinks he's the Antichrist in the future, because I read on that a few times. That has shifted a lot, but I'm not going to answer that in this reading specifically because I feel like that's just dark energy that I don't really have the energy to deal with today. Don't have it in me to care. That's a me problem tomorrow, not a me problem today. Okay, I'm too exhausted for that. Okay, so now we established all that we said that it was premeditated. It feels like it's an illusion that's being cast. Okay, so with that being said, Spirit, how long would a Trump presidency be? Now, this is going to be very difficult to pinpoint because that's going to change. Is 45 presidency going to be short-lived? Is 45 presidency going to be short-lived? In the past, I gotten yes, but we'll see if the cards agree now because I'm reading the energy. Things will shift. And this would actually help us a lot knowing how long or how often, when to expect if something's going to occur or not, especially in terms of an outbreak. Because this would definitely help. Spirits and angels, tell me about 45 term. Will he serve a full 4-year term or will it be short-lived? We have the 10 of Pentacles, which is the line of succession. That's the challenge, the line of succession. And here we have the 8 of Pentacles working. This is like a job or career. This is reverse. This is his presidency. This is charged or challenged by the 10 of Pentacles, which is indicating that the line of succession is a challenge. It's probably his own health. I do feel like it's his weakness. I feel like it is going to be short-lived. It does feel like it's short-lived. But here's the 8 of Cups right now, which means not walking away yet. I feel like it's not soon, but it feels like it's not far away either. It's kind of like it feels like a happy medium, if you know what I mean. And here we have is loss, which is the 5 of Cups, and then followed by the potential betrayal, which is the 10 of Swords reversed, and what's coming after that. And here we have going back to the past. So something regarding to the past with a betrayal. So maybe like being removed in office because maybe that could be what it means. Because going back to the past is the Biden administration, right? That's the past now. The past was the Biden administration. This means looking at the past administration, going backwards. This was always the card that represents the Trump administration. Now this card will represent Biden's administration. When it's reversed, it means towards the future administration, which is the one after. Like not the present, but after the one that's currently at power. I don't know why I flipped it reverse. This is the Biden administration, which means the betrayal by the Bidens, they didn't do anything in terms of betrayal here. So if you're thinking Biden did something, he may have laid the groundwork, but I don't feel like he enacted anything. So I don't really think that you should be looking at Biden to be doing anything. He's gone. Here we have the Justice card. The Justice card is something that's going to be served, which is why the Lost card is here. So it has to do something with humanity, something that he did with humanity. Underneath the 8 of Cups reversed, we have the wand here, the Ace of Wands. The lack of leadership, as we all know, or the inability to hold on to power, that could be also as well. Then it's followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Swords reversed, which means he will likely, if something was to happen where he has to be forced to leave or his term ends shortly, it will be kind of like where he just accepts the fate in some way. Like it's accepting of it. Like there's nothing that he can do. He was caught or maybe life got to him, all that. What's on the bottom? Well, we have the presidency card. And we're asking whether or not it's going to be short-term or long term, whether it's going to be 4 years or it's going to be shorter than 4 years. It looks very likely it's on the shorter side. Here we have the Fool card. Fool card. He's walking, he's skipping. We're waiting for his time to end. His time to end. This is the Knight of Pentacles handing the power over to the next individual. This is the presidency, the power of the presidency, which is the Four of Cups, from 545 to a new leader. To a new leader, and that person's also going to be a white supremacist. So if you're thinking that it's going to be Harris, I'm going to say no. Okay, like I said, I feel like Harris comes after the next one after Trump. Now, what we're going to do is actually, because I want to double verify that, just to make sure, we're going to ask the cards and see if it's going to be male or female. Because that may help us a little bit more. Now, remind you as well that Vance may be, according to the cards, might be considered more feminine, or he might be considered more masculine. And to keep that in mind as well. So if it's Vance that goes in, even though I might say female, then that means that Vance was more feminine, and we should approach Vance as a more feminine figure, or if he comes in as more masculine. But Harris goes in, then we will approach Harris as more masculine. But for now, I feel like Vance is more masculine with a little tipsy side of fruit. And then we have Harris, who has a little bit more deeper side of like a little bit more masculine, but more feminine. So it's kind of like a mix between her. Like, both of them are mixed. I think both of them are mixed. That's what I'm going to say. I feel like both are mixed, actually. So let's see if we can do that. So Spirits and Angels, timing for the U.S. presidency, the one that comes after 45, what gender is it going to be? Not the energy of them, not the feminine or masculine, but the gender. Is it male or female? Who's going to become president after 45? Okay, we have here the challenge to 45. 45 is challenging something. The Four of Cups is challenging the offer to handing over the presidency. Who is that person? We have the Knight of Pentacles. Again, you guys can't make this stuff up. I mean, literally, I just shuffled and the same card just came out. And we have here the leadership. Does he feel like he wants to let go of this leadership, which is why the Ace of Wands is reversed. And here we have the Fool card. The Fool card, is looking in this direction. This Fool is jumping over the ledge. This person is looking at the Four of Cups, while the Knight of Pentacles is also waiting for this person to accept the offer, which is the Four of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles is looking for this person to accept the offer, or waiting for the offer to come in. And we have here the presidency. Now we're about to get the answer for who is going to be the next president. We have here the Page of Pentacles. Who is this? Okay. Alright, so it's just of the light consciousness. Okay, it's just of the light consciousness. It's just of the light consciousness. Are you of the light consciousness? It is my internal thoughts and beliefs and opinions. It is my internal thoughts, beliefs, and opinions. It is my internal thoughts, beliefs, and opinions. Okay, this is Vance. Page of Pentacles reverse. Vance. And then you have the woman after him. So here's the World card. So the reason why they're reversed is because they are not in a position of power, or they have not assumed the role of the presidency. So the way it's going to go male, female, right after 45. So 45, male, female. So that's how it's going to go. Harris looks like she's going to be 49. I said that before. Now remember, Harris will eventually assume the title of 48, but as of when she is elected or is inaugurated, she will be considered a 49th until 45 number is considered illegitimate. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Think about it this way. If just say 45 became the 47, he is considered illegitimate, both 45 and 47, which would be 2 presidents removed, which means that the 46th president will be now 45, so Biden would be 45. Then Vance will be 46, and Harris will be 47. Oh, that will be how it works. Guys, I think I might have just broke the code. That might be why when you ask if how is it going to be 47, that might be how it plays out. And going back to this layout here, sorry, I didn't mean to be so quick with you. We have 45 being the challenge. So the question is, who is going to be the next president after 45? I want to say it's going to be Vance, then Harris, or a woman, whoever this woman is, and a man. So the man goes right after Trump, and then it's going to be a woman. The challenge to the author, though, to give up the relinquished power, is going to be 45 himself. I feel like he's going to be forced rather than willingly give it up. I don't think he's going to give it up. He's going to be forced in some way, or he's just going to either die. And yes, I said it. I mean, he is old. I mean, did we all expect that he was going to live forever? No. I mean, we'll be scared if, it was Vance and he can live forever. Then, that's going to be a nightmare to deal with. But, you know, what we're talking about here. All right, so now we established that I want to kind of go into the world now. And see what's going on for the world for you guys and see if maybe we can get a better understanding about what's happening. What I'm starting to get, and I don't know if other readers are getting this, maybe those of you guys who do pendulums and divining rods and other things that you guys do, I don't know. Maybe you guys do asparagus or like some egg yolk or some dried coffee mugs or whatnot. But for me, I'm getting here that when I read some cards now, this might be a United States thing, but I'm also seeing censorship in the tarot card. Like the energy and the information that is being revealed is centered. It almost feels like I can't read clearly. It feels like when I go into the world and I go outside the United States and read for the world and globally, I feel like I can really see, I can really feel the energy. But when I tap back into the United States, it feels very mellow. It feels a lot calmer. It feels too quiet, if you know what I mean. Whereas when you go back into the world, you start to hear noise, you start to hear a lot of movement, energy, frequencies. When you tap in the United States, it's like a whistling. Feels like that. It feels like there's no activity, but there's a lot of activity. We're just not being told the activity. So I feel like when I go and read globally, it's going to it's going to tell me, hey, listen, this is what's going on globally. This might be what's going on in your country, but you're not being told it. So that's why I say stay for the global stuff, because you never really know. It might just be extra information that maybe we might not be told. So that's my little input there. But that's what I've been getting. I've been feeling that once I tuned into the world, just about now, when I tuned into it and I shifted my gear from the United States to globally, my energy shifted, and the energy it's so different. It was astonishing that to the point where I noticed it, to the point that maybe you guys might notice it. You guys let me know in the comments section below if you noticed it. So let's go and meet. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me about the world when it comes to the plausibility and possibility of a pandemic. Now, it might say no. Now, there's a possibility it might say no, there might not be a pandemic or an epidemic. And that might be because the United States alone might be the one experiencing it, because it might be internal. It might be caused by internal decisions by leadership. Whereas other world leaders, they're part of who? They might get the heads up. They might get the advantage here. They might say, no, we got this on track. We got the vaccine. We got everything we need to combat this. The United States, though, may not. So let's keep that in mind as well. All right, so let's see. So Spirit Angels, tell me about the world. What's going on in the global stage right now in terms of the plausibility and possibility of a pandemic occurring within the next 5 years? While 45 is president in the United States alone, what is going on globally during the time that 45 is president when the United States is undergoing its pandemic, epidemic, whatever it is, disease outbreak, 2 outbreaks, what's going on globally? That's the center of the reading. 45 still comes in somehow. He comes in some way, like he has some sort of effects. We have the Chariot card reverse, followed by the top of the deck here being the Ten of Swords betrayal. Okay. Okay, so, okay, sorry about that. Today, this is the second part of today's video. It is still being recorded on Monday, January 27th at 2:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I am recording this. I almost could not read that. But anyway, without further ado, nothing has changed. So I am back. We're just gonna read and see. One of the things that I realized when I put this card down is 45 is actively showing up in the card. So the reason why I think that might be is because around the time that this is ongoing, if this is occurring in the United States, right? There's a plausibility and a possibility, like other world wars that we have been in, even wars that we have been into. The United States alone has been a disease spreader. Yes, during World War One, the United States was the one that influenza had originated from, not from Spain, not from China, originated here in the United States. So, with that being said, I'm seeing there's a scenario there with the possibility and plausibility that the United States, specifically under a 45 regime, will experience bringing in an epidemic or a pandemic globally. And it will come from the United States, particularly because of neglect and because of the interaction with war. It seemed to be that's where it spreads. If there was something, maybe even like military personnel or development or maybe contract, and those people meet and there is some sort of transfer of illnesses or disease, that's kind of like where it comes from, but I think specifically more so military than not. There could be another way of transfer as well, it could be meeting or anything like that, but it has to do with like high figures as well. It has to do with high profile figures where the disease gets changed in some capacity or way. I'm also seeing G7 as a very important player. Now, going to my January 9th, 2025 Psychic Challenge, which was channeled channeled at 2:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It says here an epidemic is on the horizon. For that, this ink shall be the thickest with truth. I can clearly see that this ink is indefinitely the thickest thing on this page for this specific color. So that's what I'm seeing here. It also says here, I think this might be this slide here where it says it. Okay, yeah. I said it here. The globe will experience a sense of peace. For that a moment, a breath, if you will, before a coming of age. A future that will define the decade and generation. A war, perhaps. This war shall come at a time when we least expect it to. Here's your warning of the exiles. Many will survive and live to tell the tale of what has become before us. A life of bliss before the kiss. That is the second challenge. That is from my December 31st, 2024 second challenge. So there's that. I just figured I'd give you a little bit of info of what I've gotten in the past in terms of the possibility of a pandemic. It seems to be showing up in this card here. I feel like more than not, Trump in some way is connected to a global pandemic or an epidemic. Maybe possibly he brings it here to the United States from globally, or it could be vice versa, but more than that, I feel like it originates in the United States and gets transferred out. Now, it doesn't mean that the virus has to be created here. It does not necessarily mean that. It could be that the virus goes in, but every other nation maybe have one or two cases, but it goes rampant in the United States, and then it just spreads from the United States all the way globally. That could be what could be happening. It doesn't mean that the virus itself has to originate here in the United States. It just might just mean that the problem becomes exponentially large. So that's what that might be meaning. But going back to the global reading here, we're talking about whether or not on a global stage they're going to experience something the likes of which a pandemic that we have experienced in the past. Here we have the past card, which is COVID-19. We have the three of wands reversed, which just means kind of like learning from your past and just kind of like not trying to relive it or trying to watch as something was ongoing in the past. Here you have the devil card, which is 45. And then what's above it, we have the death card in reverse. Transformation, rebirth, a renewal, a new cycle, a new beginning. That death card be indicating two things, and this is what it might be indicating. The first energy that I got here was it might be indicating that we're still on the same storyline, we're still on the same story, and this is the second part of the story of COVID. So to speak, doesn't necessarily mean it has to do with COVID, it might just have to do with a pandemic or an epidemic or going to be a continuation of the story, like I said. I feel like a 45 reboot of the whole thing that happened at the end of his presidency. It kind of feels like when a new TV show that has ended has been picked up or rebooted, and it kind of picked up where it left off. Kind of feels like that. Globally, though, if had the death card in reverse, which means we have not yet had a rebirth or a transformation. What might also indicate on a global phase that might not actually be physical issues except in the United States. Because that could be what that could be meaning, because all the other cards except the devil card is upright was telling me already that there might be a possibility and plausibility where it might not be a pandemic. I want to know if there's something that might be more regional. Maybe it might be an epidemic. So let me see a pandemic only within a country. Epidemic. What is an epidemic? Okay, an epidemic says here is an epidemic is a rapid spread of disease to a large number of hosts in a given population within a short period of time. Yeah, so an epidemic is a disease outbreak that occurs within a specific geographical area. So yeah, it would be like an epidemic rather than a pandemic, because a pandemic would be more global, where an epidemic is more internal and to a specific region. We have 45 here. He's coming in as epidemic, but if we look at the death card reverse, it talks about that rebirth, a renewal, a new beginning. The new beginning is when it's upright, right? It means a new beginning, going toward a new start. It might just be a repeat globally as well, with that death card be indicating that it might be a repeat for everybody. The death card could also mean reverse that no, not happening here. But it seems to be more than not. It feels like if I had to make a choice and a decision based on the energies I'm getting, I want to say it looks more likely it's going to be an epidemic first for the United States, then it goes into a pandemic globally. That's what it feels like. That can change. The next card here is we have the three of Pentacles reversed. Miscommunication. Sounds about right. Seems like there's some sort of miscommunication. Because of the miscommunication, it feels like countries feel betrayed. What's at the top of this card? What's at the top of the deck? This is the Ten of Swords. They feel betrayed. Because they feel betrayed, they feel like they have to walk away from something. Maybe that's from allyship or something like that. It might even be like, it might just be the economy walking away like, again, and this could have all been preventable. I feel like this was a preventative outbreak. It is something that could have been fixed, but it was because of neglect and because it seemed to be quote unquote premeditated. Alleged purposes only. And here we have is the Queen of Cups upright. So eventually we get to this point where a woman is in power and she has great fortune. But until then, this seems to be the way that we're going. This is kind of like the story globally and also internally within the United States. So I feel like when we start to get into the scenario where a pandemic or an epidemic occurred, we start to get closer and closer to a woman president. But until then, it feels like we are still in a very early phase of when that's occurring. Now, this pandemic or epidemic might, when you ask it, it might not necessarily say, oh, there might be a physical disease. It might not be a physical disease. But I remember, like I said earlier in the video, I said I have seen like a droplet, and it could be contacted through eyes or physical mouth. Maybe potentially it could be anger. And anger could come through as a pandemic or a high emotional strain. Necessarily, a pandemic or an epidemic necessarily does not have to do with physical illness. It might just be the widespread emotion or feeling or something that is so big it goes global or in a high geographical area. So it could be an epidemic of rebellion or an epidemic of some sort, or even an epidemic of high tension globally among its own citizens around the world. So that could be what that could be meaning as well. It could be at the physical in sense. It could be more of the health sense. It could be the emotional sense, more that feeling being more connected simultaneously. So, like for example, you will feel angry, other people around you will feel angry, and that would be kind of like the aura if this was to play out in an emotional aspect rather than the spiritual. I'm going to ask whether or not this is going to be more of a spiritual thing or a physical thing. It'll be kind of interesting to see what the cards say about that. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think that might be. I know this video is a little bit kind of all over the place, honestly. I feel like once you cut me off, it kind of cut my little mojo. So I do apologize for that. But I hope that I was able to regain that in some way. But I just feel like today just probably wasn't it. So Spirit Angels tell me about the United States and no, not the United States. Tell me about whether or not this is an, what was I saying? You see, guys, like when I do my reading, sometimes I forget because make my guys make me forget everything I read, so I'm not biased based on what I read in the past, or I don't misinterpret things. But I don't remember. Maybe I have to read this question instead. Spirit and Angel, tell me, is this an epidemic or a pandemic? If it's a pandemic, show the card upright. If it's an epidemic, show me reverse. If it's both or happen one first then the other, then just do it in that order. So upright, pandemic, reverse, epidemic. Challenge. Okay, we never had that one come out before. There's a challenge here. What's the challenge to? Okay, we have epidemic. So a challenge to the epidemic. We have here the Fool card with the conservative, which is the King of Wands reverse, challenged by the Fool card. And is there a pandemic? I'm hearing now. I'm hearing that it needs to have an epidemic first in order for a pandemic. It feels like they're refusing to answer the question because, well, this needs to happen first before the pandemic. And it cannot declare a pandemic until an epidemic happens. That's what I'm getting told. At the top of the deck here, we have the Lovers card reversed. Again, still epidemic. The bottom of the deck, also reversed. Six of Cups, also epidemic. Yeah, I don't really feel like there's any other information to add to this except the fact that there is a Seven of Pentacles heading towards the past. So these two cards are heading towards the past. Which means in this pretense here, the epidemic needs to happen first, then the pandemic. So that's what I'm getting. Is there anything else that we need to cover in today's video, Spirit? No. Alright, guys. I'm going to cut the video off here. Thank you for your love, support, kindness, and appreciation. I hope you guys were able to get some of my comments and was able to read them. If you have not received a response from me yet, you will be getting one shortly, as soon as I can. I am going to make a couple more videos tomorrow, just to pump them out for you guys, just so you have something to watch. And then, I'll see you soon. Until then, guys, I love you. Have a good night, and I'll see you all soon. Peace out. I love you.